and rain, eyes of cold, but we'll see brighter days. We are chosen. Show love, show your heart. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Coming to you from California, Los Angeles. Oh, well, that's where I started. Okay. This is Richard, and the name of this segment is Everything and Anything, where we will talk about everything and anything. So let's get into it today. Let's see what's going on. A whole lot. As every day. Every day is packed with drama, and it's always something about our government. I don't usually try to listen to their going back and forth, but it's so heated now that this country, I don't know if you ever seen the footage of, most of the time it's the Asian countries and sometimes European countries where they're in their parliament, Congress, like our people were when they were asking the the DOJ Secretary Bondi questions. Other countries do that too. It's just called different things. But have you ever seen the footage where they get so, you know, frustrated with each other that it comes to blows and it starts a big brawl in, on the Congress floor, let's say speak. I don't know what they call it, but that's going to happen here. Watch. And you know where it started, I believe? Probably maybe way before that. But the thing that I saw that set it off really was the Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett clash when she called her a big body butch blonde, bleach blonde, or something to that effect. Which, oh my God, she went viral on that one. But anyway, yeah, that's viral stuff. We need to get rid of. I heard someone saying get rid of social media, and I kind of agree. I mean, at least for kids that are under a certain age, just like we do cigarettes and alcohol and stuff like that. I don't know how it's going to be done, but it's caused too much problems in this country and deaths. Anyway, so uh, got back to the Congress, who were asking Bondi many questions about the Epstein file because, as everyone knows, they missed the deadline. They're breaking the law every day, and like I probably said before, more than likely Trump isn't going to stand trial for anything because he's not long for this world. I'm looking at him. I mean, I'm not no doctor, but you can. I mean, it happens to all presidents. Obama aged when he got in there. Usually, they say black men age. We age the best, especially if we not. But that's a burden, right? That's what aging gracefully is, when you can retire and you don't have to really worry about money and you're not sick. That's aging gracefully. If you try to be the president of this country or any country, it's that's a burden, man. And you're gonna age. But anyway, so they were grilling her about the Epstein files, and she really acted like a child. Anytime that a question came up that may have, one of the senators asked a great question, and she was so flustered because she knew the answer was Donald Trump, and she just wouldn't say it, but she almost broke out into a crying slash laughter. You see what they're trying to do here? They're trying to trick me, and no, we're not trying to trick you. We all know it's you that are still cowing down to this guy that doesn't know the very things that he says about the Democrats are the things that he is doing and his people. What is Jared Kushner? What is his title? All of these guys have been to Mar-a-Lago, might as well have been, to Epstein Island. Even some people that you wouldn't even think about. And don't go talking about people asking them for donations for their party or for their campaign. Have you ever donated to either party? I have. And I'm going to tell you, these are the most prolific beggars in the whole. They don't care who you are. They'll say, and once they know you're black or you're something, I'm sure the Latino people are getting all the famous Latinos. Everybody was texting me, supposedly, Kamala, all of them. Hey, $5, just $5. These are the most prolific beggars. You think these panhandlers on the street are annoying? Man, please give just one time. Give $10. Give $10 to the party, the people that you think are the right people to be governing our country, and see what happens. For right now, this term, nothing. But wait till the next election start to roll around and see how many times they got. So don't tell me about people that are asking him for money, especially him, who got all the money and billionaire. Of course they're going to ask him. Even though he might not be, he could have been affiliated with Democrats. He doesn't. Who knows what he is? He's a pedophile. He's a monster. That's what he is. And everybody is up in arms about these files and who these people are getting implicated. Women are getting implicated. The top lawyer at Sachs Goldman has been resigned because she has close ties with this guy, calling him Uncle Jerry or whatever, Uncle Jeff. Come on now, America, y'all can't see. Remember when he was first running, and he being Trump, when he said Soros, the Clintons, the Obamas, Oprah Winfrey, he had a whole bunch of people in there, are running a sex trafficking ring. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Remember that? We know. I knew back then. I used to post on Twitter before old boy took over. I used to post on Twitter. And my basic post was, there is a criminal enterprise being run out of the White House. Or our government is running yeah, that's what I would say. That was my I would post it every day, 2, 3, 4 times a day. Our government is being run, there's a criminal enterprise being run out of the White House. That's what I would say every day, 2, 3, 4 times a day. Until one day I wrote on there the real reason why they don't like us. And that kicked me off of Twitter. And I posted a picture of the statues that we see across this country, and probably others of whoever they are. They're always like almost genuflexing and stuff, but their little wieners are like the size of my thumb. Okay, which everybody knows that this is no myth. The women will tell you that. But then when they got us from Africa and threw us in the bottom of that boat, look for pictures of us, of Africans in those boats that they brought us over here in. Look for pictures online. They're there before they destroy them, because they're destroying our history. They're destroying everything that they did wrong out of the history books. But it's no big deal, because when we get back to being a halfway sane country, all that's going to be restored. But anyway, look at the pictures of the Africans they brought over here when they kidnapped us from Africa, and they were all laying in the bottom of that boat, shoulder to shoulder, like sardines, butt naked. And so they saw what we as black men carry, and they couldn't have that. They couldn't. They were overwhelmed, awed with our manhood. So, what did they do? To vilify us so that no one would like us, so that basically they wanted to keep us away from white women. That's what it was. They told lies on us, like they've been doing to us ever since this country was formed in 1776. How do you discover something that didn't even exist? Christopher Columbus discovered America? What was it called when he stepped foot on this land? Was it called America? Did he call it America? Man, that's the privilege that these people that run this country have been using forever. And no one's called them on it. And we're finally getting around to it. But you saw, so what they do, they lied on us, black people. They stink. They're lazy. They're stupid. All those were lies that they told these people just to keep their women away from us. They were scared we were going to come over here and screw all the white women and just ruin them for them because everybody knows they are not endowed down there. Okay, so that's the why I got kicked off Twitter. Here comes Mr. Musk, who puts people who took over Twitter, turned it into X, and then I get an email saying, renew your subscription. So I say, yeah, okay, it's political. I'll see what everybody's talking about. And I did it for about 4 or 5 years. And I'm telling you, maybe 4 years. I had to get off. I deleted that account, deleted all my social media because it's just too much. Too many people are lying on it. I mean, I used to enjoy it because there are some creative people that create things there, and it's very funny. It's very hilarious, especially the comedians that come on the late night. Well, that's not social media, but it's people do come up with some hilarious skits and things that have kept me entertained for a while. But like everybody in this country, we're all addicted to these phones, and that's part of the problem too. But and while we're on the phones, why don't we do research instead of just taking someone's word for it? But yeah. So this is just how this country is moving in that direction now. So I'm watching the hearings for the DOJ on why all these things are happening in our country that never happened before, and she's acting like a child. And everyone needs to watch those in its entirety to see what this administration is trying to pull off. They stopped the EPA. They basically got rid of that. They they're getting rid of Black history. They're taking all this stuff out of museums about slavery. They're trying to erase it. And here's something I heard, and this is why this country was never great and will never be great until they come to terms with what they've done. I heard a person that went to Germany for the first time, and they went to Berlin, and this is the epicenter for all that craziness that was going on with Hitler. And he says it's so strange how they are so different from us, where they are almost apologetic to the things that were done by their government back in the 1930s and before. They were touring a, I'm not sure what they called it, but I guess it was a stadium. And I guess they held the X Games there once. And it's so big, and it's the biggest probably building edifice there. And so it was on a tour, and the guy was telling them about it, what events went on there. And so people were curious, and the guy that was telling me this, he said, he asked the guy, he said, well, what was it built for? Who built it, and what did they build it for? And he got the tour guy got sad. Oh, he was all upbeat, talking about, yeah, the X Games was here and blah blah blah. But when he asked him who built it and what it was it built for, he got so sad, and he said, the Fuhrer. And they've changed their national anthem. This guy speaks their language, so he translated the old national anthem, which basically was saying that Germans are supreme and we should rule the world. Basically, is what it's saying. And then he translated the new national. These guys are apologizing for what they did to Jewish people, and they're teaching in their schools and in their educational system that should never happen again. What does this country do? We bury it. We bury it, make like it's never happened. Make like it never happened. And that's why they're trying to get rid of all this stuff. We better wake up. I mean, come on, he's there near his end. His rope is about to, get burnt to the tip. So once he's gone, somebody, whoever, you got to go and restore all this stuff. Every other country thinks we've lost our minds. They don't want to do business with us. Now he's trying to pull back on certain things and whatnot. It's crazy. I'm in the doctor's office today, and I'm sitting in front of the television that has CNN on, and it's talking about the lady Guthrie that was kidnapped. And I'm sitting there for about 10 minutes waiting for my doctor to call me. And as people walk by and they can see the television, every last person slow down to see, because I knew immediately they couldn't see what what it was because they were too far away. So they slowed down so they can get a better look because everybody's trying to see what's going to happen in this fiasco of a government that's going on right now. So when the next 9/11 happens, please don't say, oh my God, why? Why did they do that to us? Why would they do that? This is why. Everyone should be standing trial for those people they killed in them waters, bombing them boats. Anyone that did that should be on trial right now. Took all the money from the EPA, from all that, and gave it to ICE. They got $1 billion something in his little beautiful new bill. Billionaires are running this country, man, and what they say goes. Where the money is goes. Everything that's helping us stay alive and have a quality life, he's taking away. I've been here for 50 years. When I first came out to California, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We had to get our cars smogged every other year because of the bad air here. Let's fast forward to my last 2 cars that I bought, and this is maybe a span of 14 to 20 years. I was wondering with my last car, I was like, wow, why haven't they wanted me to do the smog? Because if I don't have to spend any money, I'm cool. But then I did research on it, and it comes to find out now, because we did that back then, probably before I got here, they were doing that. Now it's only every 7 years because the actions that the government here took to make our air cleaner worked. Just like when we started building highways and interstates and freeways and expressways, the naysayers were saying the same thing. It costs too much. We can't do that. It costs too much. If we didn't have those highways and byways in this country, it has made us so much more advanced than other countries. Our highways, byways, railways. Now, Knucklehead is trying to stop the one from Canada to Michigan because one of his cronies, one of his crooks that's in the Epstein files, owns the other bridge, which would basically not, be irrelevant once this new bridge is built. They want to hold on to that old stuff that was happening where they could just rule and no one would be held accountable when they used to hang black folks. They want to go back to that. The guy that owns the bridge that's connecting Canada to America is probably old and dilapidated, knowing that if he's a Trump associate, because they don't fix nothing, they don't create jobs, told a lie about the job report. Ain't no 130 million jobs, 103 million jobs been created in this country for the last month. That's crazy. Come on now. Do some research on that too. Anyway, yeah, so he stopped that bridge and it's going to get built. Tell my Canada owes us money. They paid for the whole bridge and we own half of it. They paid for the whole daggone bridge. So how do they owe us money? That's his main thing. That's his irk. That chaps his hide, so to speak, because since we want to go back to the 1930s, that chaps his hide when he thinks people are ripping him off for money because he's the only one that can rip people off of suing his own government, and he's the one that's going to determine how much he should get paid. This is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Hit me up in the section. I'm going to put old boy Mr. Goebel back up on here on the comments because he's making so many good points about this government, and he knows. He's a Forbes. He's an ex-oil tycoon guy, but he's not a crooked one, and most of them aren't. Even when he called them in there to tell them about the Venezuelan oil, most of them laughed at him. One executive didn't even show up. Sent his subordinate and said, "Take care of that." Anyway, hit me up in the comments. This has been everything and anything, and I'm Richard. Oh, this country, man, will grow up.
We can save the world together.
Yeah.
Step
Not
by
apart.
step,
Not apart.
brick by brick.
That's what they want, us apart.
We'll get through the storm together. Show love, show your love. We can save the world together. Brick by